What's up, guys? Hey, I have a special one for you today. I am bringing the one and only Moto Jones. Yes, from Moto Info Wars. I reached out and I got an interview with Moto Jones. You know, the parody character that has a lot of information that, let's be honest, a lot of it's pretty accurate. But before we get into the fun stuff, I got to talk about something really bad that happened. One of our viewers, a mob member, Steve Cobell, he lives in Arizona. Their house burned down last Sunday night. Luckily, everybody got out safe, but they're devastated. They lost everything. And it's really sad to see. They're struggling right now. Insurance is messing with them, of course, because insurance sucks. They're not covering their motorcycles and UTVs, claiming they're under the auto policy. But either way, there's a GoFundMe. I'm going to put the link in the description. If you want to help out the Coble family, send some prayers, help them out. It's going to be a tough holiday season for them. But hey, at least they're all okay. And that is just a blessing. And I know they're still struggling. They've lost everything, but hopefully there'll be better times ahead. So send some prayers their way. And yeah, like I said, if you want to donate, go ahead and use the link in the description. Some more bad news. Village Creek, the motocross track in Texas that has been there forever, is shutting down due to another lawsuit. And the way that I understood this, now I don't know that this is completely accurate, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. What I was told is somebody who didn't sign the waiver, who didn't pay to ride, when the track closed, went out there, got a broken femur, and now, since they weren't part of the track, they didn't sign the waiver, they are suing, and it has caused them to shut down. We are experiencing a crisis with tracks right now. Insurance companies, with the amount of lawsuits that we're getting, they're not offering insurance anymore, and they are at extremely high rates. It's bad. So please, man, I don't know how to fix this. First off, we got to stop suing people for our own dumbass things. If you ride at a track, you know the risks. And if you don't know the risks, ask someone who does. Now, I'm not saying there's no reason to sue a track, because if there's blatant negligence, go ahead and sue. From what I was told and what this sounds like, it doesn't sound like that. Like I said, that is secondhand information, so if it turns out to be wrong, so be it. From what I've seen, most of these lawsuits against these tracks are pretty frivolous, and it's usually the responsible party who's suing, and it's just disgusting, and they're rooting for everybody. Like, it's bad, guys. So they are hurting a track owner, and if you've dealt with track owners, they don't make a ton of money. It is a hard business to run. They do it because they love it. And for them to be the victims of these blatant attacks by money-grubbing people who've been injured is disgusting. All right, before we get into the Moto Jones interview, I want to run through my sponsors. You guys know Nano-tech, a pain cream that really works. You've got Complete Racing Solutions. Coach Rob has fitness information. He's got a new bot on there, so you can just type your question and you get Coach Rob's response right then and there. Boom, you don't even have to wait. Epic Garage Designs. Travis has the coolest garage stuff, motocross enthusiast and great guy. Ride Strapped, of course, another great guy who really cares about growing the sport from the ground up. Ridestrap.com, get your goggles and glasses. And if you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport. This is a shipping company you can trust. Good prices, good tracking, pretransport.com. All right, guys, without further ado, so I will say this is a parody interview, so take it for what it is. This is just a lot of good fun. Like I said, I reached out to Moto Jones because I watch all his videos. They crack me up. Some of the stuff he says, I'm just like, wow. So I thought it would be fun to do an interview with him. So I got Moto Jones on here. So without further ado, let's get into the interview.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Moto Jones. Wow, you come at people with some hard takes, and you've hit some topics with a ferocity that I haven't seen before. And I know how much blowback I get. Do you get any blowback from these people?
That's a very good question, Cooksy. Can I call you Cooksy? Well, Cooksy, we have yet to have any contact or pushback whatsoever. I suspect after Jimmy flew off the handle on Steve Mattress, the rest of the Xtreme Moto media got the message. You don't mess with Moto Jones and the Moto Wars Army. They're like the Kiss Army without the backing tracks. If they want blood, they got it. If you survive an encounter with Jimmy, you still have to get by the ex-airborne, almost invisible Whoop Monster, who is in our comment section as the moderator. They don't want any of that smoke, Cooksy.
So you often mention the Davy Coombs Golden Buckle Club. Have you been there? What goes on at this place? I know you've mentioned he's a wife swapper. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to get your wife? How did this go down exactly? What is this place?
Well, many people remember when me and Jimmy snuck into the Bohemian Grove, but what people don't know is that was just a trial run for our real infiltration, the infamous P. Davey Golden Buckle Club. Okay, I'll tell you, but you have to edit this out. Jimmy's life could depend on that. If you saw our interview with Mama Double Deegan, that just scratched the surface. Jimmy still has 2 more LASIK procedures before he can see the color green again. But I digress. Travis Pastrami and Papa Deegs were there. They planned out 6 years of their rivalry that night. They sacrificed a raccoon, and then they put on women's dresses and did tricks on mini bikes for the rest of the night. I mean, it's pure evil. It's hard to even talk about it sometimes, to be honest. The baker was there. I guess I'll call him the baker. He was talking to the president of Pfizer. It all devolved into pure debauchery when P. Davey was passing out monster curls like roofies. Things just went out of control. It was like watching drunken monkeys, Cooksy. Everyone humping and throwing poo. P. Davey was standing on a throne or something with a camcorder, one of those old 90s camcorders. There was always a black man in a weird white suit sitting next to him. He kept calling him the student. I'm not sure who that was. It was dark. I think I've already said too much. Jimmy just got a text that said his side chick just got hit by a Monster Energy delivery truck. Hang on, let me turn off my phone, Cooksy. Okay, go ahead.
Wow, that is quite a description of the Golden Buckle Club. I'm blown away. I'm almost speechless, but we'll move on to the next question I got for you is, you had Steve Mathis, or as you like to call him, Stevie Mattress, on your show. How do you feel about his recent cancel culture and the way he acts and the fact that he puts on a privateer race to do good and then he uses it to ban one of the most likable riders out there in Stank Dog? What do you think of that?
Well, to put it in layman's terms, Steve Mattress is a worthless Canadian, Kamala Harris voting, corporate butt-kissing, e-bike riding, cancel culture, Sue happy piece of floppy-headed trash. Stank Dog is a beacon of freedom, a pot-smoking, no shits-giving, two-stroking American. To be so butthurt to ban anyone from a professional race should be illegal. It's something a 12-year-old would do. I mean, isn't he a grown man, like a grown 300-pound man that sued Yamaha because they made him work too hard? Poor baby. I digress. What was the question? Okay, let's move on.
And I saw that Courtney Roxon came on your show. That was an interesting episode. How did that work about? Was she cool? Like, what was your thoughts on Courtney Roxon and the Roxon family?
Well, honestly, all you really said was she wasn't the hottest girl in the pits. I don't see how that's so offensive unless you're a total narcissist. I guess that's what makes her so attractive to Kenny. Remember when Peeing went off on Kenny about the narcissist stuff, being all self-absorbed? That was good stuff. I miss Peeing. You remember his eraser board boobs? He used to always draw boobs on eraser boards. That was fantastic. He's an artist. But I digress. Jimmy has been getting constant texts from Courtney after his trip to Canada, but Jimmy said he was getting low on grocery bags, and he met the Canadian 32nd board girl and stopped texting Courtney back. I'm not sure what to make of all that, but Jimmy's a wild man.
So the big news in the last 2 weeks was the Lawrence camp essentially blocked Hayden Deegan from racing the AUS-X Open. Yes, he could go enter the race if he wanted, but we all know in an off-season race, if you want a big name like Deegan, you got to pay him. They blocked the payout and didn't want him there. And they're saying American fans don't like them because they're Australian. And that's something I've never been familiar with.
Well, the Vorens brothers think their donut holes don't stink. Grandpa Earl is a foreigner, and he is, despite not being a top-tier rider, one of the most popular riders in the pits. The difference is Dino is a nice, humble, likable dude. Chet is a little douche, like his little sidekick, Chance Hyman. I hate to bust their little bubbles. They have crossed the line, talking down to the American fans like they have. This aggression will not stand between the Cooksey mob, the Moto Wars Army, and all the other true American Supercross fans out there, our true Supercross veterans are ready this year, and our little bulldog Deegan is almost ready to set loose on the 450 class. I predict they will be eating their xenophobic words this year. I have 3 words for the Lawrence brothers. USA.
Wow, once again, you blow me away with your answer there, Moto. Hey, and Hayden Deegan has been out there, and he's really kind of changed the game with his podium speeches and coming out and saying things that don't go along with the narratives that we've seen in the sport in the past. What are your thoughts on Hayden and his podium speeches?
Oh man, Hayden, the Deegs, the Danger Boy, Deegan. We love the Deegs here at Moto Wars. He embodies the attitude of the Moto Wars army. He is pure aggression, and the fact that the Deegans and the Mattress hate each other, that makes the Deegs just so much greater in our eyes. But I do feel like the Deegs holds back a little on the podium. I feel once he comes out of his shell, he could add a real intimidation factor to his game.
Do you ever worry that a rider or team is going to find you and look for retribution?
Well, our buddy Joe Rogan comes by with his special cigars, so me and Jimmy, we don't worry about a whole lot around here. But if they do, they better remember, you can't see the Whoop Monster until it's too late. No one will hear your screams over the sounds of his air horn and chainsaws.
Whew, yeah, I don't want to mess with those guys. Last question, Mr. Moto Jones. You talk about riding a lot. What do you ride? And, what's your experience in this sport?
Well, Cooksy, I don't get to ride as much as I used to or need to, but I have a nice fleet of vintage bikes ready to go. I've got a 1983 Cagiva 190, a 1982 YZ 100, 2004 RM 250, and the old race bike, the pride and joy, the TTR 125. As far as pro goes, sort of. The last vintage race I went to, they moved me into the expert class. I did manage to finish ahead of Trampus Parker, the ex-world champion, but I also did manage to sneak my Cagiva 190 into the 125 class. And Trampus Parker may have ate shit, but I digress. I also dominated the J-Bob's TTR 125 Mad Dog Semi-Pro TT Series for a good 2 years. There was a good mix of ex-pro flat trackers, 12-year-old kids, semi-pro pit bike racers. Jimmy McGarth and Cowboy Kenny Bartram made an appearance at a few races. I beat Bartram from a second row start, but I could not catch McGarth. His mullet gives him superhuman speed. Again, I digress. After that, there wasn't really anything left for Moto Jones to accomplish, so I retired to pursue my true passion of installing shower doors and doing Moto Wars.
I'm blown away. Moto Jones has beat Trampus Parker, world champion. I'm going to take your word for it. I have a hard time believing that, but hey, if you say it, it must have happened, right? If he crashes, he crashes, but you got over on a world champion and one of the baddest dudes, one of the baddest Americans to ever go ride GPs in Trampus Parker. Thank you, Moto Jones. Where can people find you?
Well, Cooksy, moving forward, we do have plans to keep giving the moto public the best footage and news coverage imaginable. Also, with the money that Moto Wars has been bringing in, we bought the rights to the Wide World of Sports intro music, and we'll be producing the newest moto show, reaching the corners of the globe for excellence in moto, the worldwide world of motorsports. We will span the globe to cover events from around the world. So stay tuned, stay informed, and fight the moto fight. You're a true moto warrior, Cooksy. Thanks for having me on, and keep up the fight.
I have to tell you, this interview was an absolute blast. You're a pleasure to talk to, Mr. Jones. And yeah, I hope to have you on again soon. Maybe we can make this a regular thing. I thoroughly enjoy it. Let's see if the people like it. If they like it, you're back. And if anyone wants to find him, make sure you subscribe to that channel. Mr. Jones, you give me so much laughter. And what you said about Hunter Lawrence when his riding style, I'm not going to mention it because they're going to go to your channel to see what you said about his body positioning. But I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at it. So thank you, Mr. Moto Jones, and I will catch you later. That's Moto Jones, guys. Anyway, hey, remember, subscribe. All the members, thank you so much. All you members are entered to win the Coach Rob helmet, which we'll be giving away this month before Anaheim. This is a custom painted 6D helmet from Coach Rob. We're giving it away. We've got about 100 people as members right now, so you have a 1 in 100 chance to win this helmet. So get your membership signed up, and you are automatically entered. Here's your member of the day.
Mom said sell it to Felt Circus. He's a damn geek. Dad said nope. This one's a P-Davy freak. If there's one thing lower than a Felt sideshow geek, it's a money-hungry, backstabbing P-Davy freak.